You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day. Oh, yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Bro Down Podcast. I'm Andy Smith.
And I'm Tim Fulton.
And
This is
this
Fight.
is. Go ahead, sir.
We're going to get this right one of these days. This is Fight Fan Weekly, but since there are no fights, we're actually going to be doing the Corona Chronicles. This is good news, some good news. Part 2, some good shit. Part 2, I'm not there to see the screen. But
yeah.
there's a little segment that we like to talk about all the good things that are going on out in the world because there's so much bad. We don't need to hear all the bad all time, nonstop. So we're going to talk about some good shit.
Hit me with the good shit, bro.
All right. First things first. Piggybacking off of our last topic, we were talking about that the environment is doing a little bit better. Not corona related, but Iowa is now leading the country with wind energy, so much so that it is vastly outputting coal. So, at least in one of our states, we are slowly turning the tide. Coal is on its way out, and the wind is picking up the pace.
Yeah, they probably got a lot of wind out there.
They do. That's like one of their things. So they're going to be like nonstop wind farms.
That's pretty dope. You ever see those things? They're fucking huge.
They are. They're massive.
Yeah.
They're dope though.
Yeah, gigantic. I saw a pelican fly into one once. Or some kind of bird. I don't know. So, numero 2.
UFC is back, baby.
Don't get my hopes up, sir. Is it?
May 9th?
Oh, okay. So we got a couple weeks to get excited.
We got a couple of weeks to get excited. Dana White is saying that there's going to be 3 different title fights. It's going to be UFC 249
I did hear this.
once again. Or maybe I'm not exactly sure how they're numbering it, what they're numbering it, but it's going to be back. And apparently it's going to be held in Vegas, which I don't really quite understand. I'm waiting to see if it actually gets knocked out or not. But
They might have they might actually have the Apex Center there where they have their own training facility and their own where they do like Dana White's Contender Series, and they literally have like an octagon set up in like a small stadium that they own.
yeah, so that might work for them.
Yeah.
I think Vegas has to approve it and all that other bullshit, but I mean May 9th is a ways out, so they do have a decent amount of time to get things together.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that this time they do it. I mean, they got a couple weeks to hash out all the details. I keep feeling bad for all the fighters that keep like trying to weight cut. Then okay, eat a cheeseburger. No. Put the cheeseburger down. Put it down. Because like they think they have a date, then it gets pushed back. But these guys continually have to make sure that they got to be on weight for the day.
Yeah.
So let's hope it goes through. I'm excited.
Did you hear what's his name cut weight anyway?
Who? Tony Ferguson?
Yeah, Tony Ferguson. He cut weight. He dropped like 20 pounds in like 2 days or
he's a different kind of human being.
Yeah. I don't know what his mindset was there, but he decided just.
You ever hear any interviews with him? He's a strange guy.
Oh, that's shocking. A professional MMA fighter? That's weird.
Even for professional MMA fighters, he's a weird guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he's one of the best fighters in the world, so I don't mind. All right,
Yeah.
numero 3.
We're going to keep talking about sports. Major League Baseball might be back this season.
When is the season over?
Not until late fall.
Oh.
So obviously they're going to have a modified season, but they're saying that within the next month it should be back. And even I mean, there are asterisks to all of this. They're saying like there's going to be like a little baseball town, basically. I forget where they're wanting to locate it, but I think they're putting it in an area that has a lot of colleges so they can use college stadiums. But they're basically saying we're going to bring all the guys to one spot. They're going to be basically secluded. So they're not interacting with anybody. They're just playing baseball.
So quick question. Like, there's a lot of baseball teams, right?
There's a lot.
And their games take like 7 hours, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of games, period. They play every day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they got to rotate the entire MLB through one stadium?
No, that's why they're going somewhere that's going to have that has like colleges so they can rotate between stadiums. But even then,
okay.
The logistics of it are really weird. Like, I'm not sure how it's feasible because there's just so many people.
Hey,
Like,
is there money involved? It'll get done.
that's
It'll
a
get
valid
done.
answer. Well,
Yeah.
the whole good part about this is the return to some sort of normalcy, right? Like, it's been a
Yeah.
while since anyone watched any sport ever. Even I might tune into a
I might
baseball
I
game.
might watch baseball, dude. I
I
can't believe I'm
might,
saying it.
I might watch some baseball.
That's cool though that they're trying to find ways to work around this whole situation because even if it's modified, now would be the like I don't know anything about baseball, but now would be the time to like try some of the wacky things out that they've maybe like spit around in the past with like tournaments or some shit like that. Like I don't know if you could do that with baseball, but
Yeah, I don't do weird shit. It's a weird year.
yeah,
Get creative.
we'll try it now while while you're people are going to tune in no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a smart way to go.
Yeah. So all right. So what else you got for me?
All right, we have remdesivir.
Who? Is
Remdesivir.
that a place or a person?
It's a drug.
Oh,
Re- remdesivir
way
is
off.
a you try. Remdesivir is a drug that comes out from a company called Gilead Sciences. There is reported success in treating COVID patients, like rapid success.
Okay.
They're saying that don't get your hopes up too much because they did an initial clinical trial with like I think it was like 40 or 50 people, and they had huge turnarounds, like in terms of like health when it comes to COVID. Um, which they're saying that the sample size wasn't nearly large enough. And then I forget, I don't know how it happened, but like it ended up getting into a hospital or something. And there's anecdotal evidence that it's super successful.
Uh,
They're saying like people start taking this drug and like 2 days later, their symptoms are.
So is this a brand new drug or is it a derivative from a drug that they use to treat malaria or you don't know?
This isn't the same thing as the malaria drug. I know that. Um, I don't know if it was a new drug or if it was something else. I'm trying to look into it now. The 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 malaria drug they are still using in some people, but I don't think that had the same success rate that
Yeah.
they thought.
It seems that they're just trying to do anything to combat the worst parts of the symptoms of it. That way,
Yeah,
like the part that basically like makes you not stick around anymore is what they're trying to like use the drugs that work on. So if they can,
exactly. They're
yeah, go ahead.
throwing whatever they're throwing whatever they can at this thing and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
And in all seriousness, if this, I mean, they're basically saying it's anecdotal evidence right now. Don't get your hopes up because who knows what actual trials are going to show. But if we could find a drug to this thing, I mean, down the road we're going to need a vaccine. Knock on wood. Don't get me wrong. But if you could go to the doctor and say, "Hey, I think I have COVID," and he just throws you a thing of pills and then you're good to go, that's going to be a game changer, a
Yeah,
complete game changer.
and with the popularity and the severity of this whole outbreak, the public call for something like that is going to be way higher. So you can imagine how many medical minds are trying to go into this. And one place where I think it's good that the people want to come out with a new drug like as soon as possible. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's try not to get your hopes up too high, but at the same time, it is a little bit of a silver lining.
They're working on it. They're working on it.
They're working on it. People smarter than us.
All right. So you got one more for me?
I do. Last but not least, we're talking about normalcy again. So in the Northeast, rumor is that schools are going to be opening back up in mid-May.
Rumor has it.
Rumor has it. I don't know how smart this is. I don't know how wise this is. I don't know if it's actually going to happen. But by May 15th, the world is going to be normal enough that students are going to be going back to their buses.
That's a month, almost a month to the day.
Yeah,
Or yeah, that's
I
uh
I think it might be a little bit fast.
yeah, they pushed it back though cuz it was supposed to be the 1st of April like 2 weeks ago and they pushed it back until like the 15th or something. And then, I think in another 2 weeks they might push it back again, but I don't know how many parents are going to be willing to send their kids to school. That's the problem.
I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of like, yeah, you know what? It's going to be so hard. Like, send your kid to school, make sure he wears a face mask. How do you expect a second grader to wear a face mask all day long. It's impossible.
Yeah, well,
Like,
I don't even think it's so much so they're worried about the kids getting sick. Like a lot of people live with their grandparents, and some people have elderly parents. So I don't know if like those people probably aren't going to send their kids to school based off of their health.
well, yeah, still, I mean, not so much high school and middle school kids, but like young children have the same respiratory problems that older people do. Like
Oh,
their lungs aren't as developed as their mature counterparts. So
yeah,
I'm talking like real little kids, like kindergarten, first
infants.
grade, infants particularly, definitely, but like
Yeah,
even like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, their lungs just aren't built up the same way as an adult lung is.
okay.
So they are basically as susceptible to the bad effects of something like this as their elderly counterpart.
Yeah,
That's why whenever they release vaccines, they're saying let old people and young people go first
yeah.
for that explicit reason.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that. I mean, if that would be great if this whole thing was taken care of, wrapped up in a bow by the 15th of next month. Um, but gut feeling that might get pushed back. But even so, like whatever is the safest bet is what should be done. So I'm hoping the school closing is one of the first major things that they did, which I think was very smart.
I think that
Um,
was very smart.
Yeah, because it's not like you can't homeschool your kids with the computer or whatever. I mean, some people I'm sure don't have computers, but you can kind of get by, and you can you can get by, and especially if it has to do with like making the country shut down for longer because you want to send your kid to school, and the summer's coming up, not that far away anyway, right? When do you get out? June, right? The
I
mid June.
Yeah, I think mid-June. So they're only going to have another month left in school
Yeah.
anyway.
At that point, is it even worth it?
I've been thinking that exact same thing too because I don't know. I go back and forth on it a lot because a lot of people don't want to send their kids to school for the health reasons, but a lot of people have to send their kids to school. Like you have people who are still quote unquote essential employees who need their kids to go to school. Otherwise, they're paying for some sort of daycare.
A lot of those
So
are closed too, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
what what the daycares?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine you have a job that is a day
I
job that you're
I
still going to.
I think that I heard, I don't know how true this is, but I did hear that if you are an essential employee, they have facilities over the state that are specifically set up to care for your child if you cannot find somewhere else to do it while you're working.
That's
I don't know
interesting.
how many there are, but it was nice to hear that they at least have some facility. I don't know how good they are, but you figure that if by the 15th of next month, that only gives them another month,
Yeah,
because a month after the 15th is like the 12th or the 19th, and that's when you go on summer vacation.
yeah. So maybe it's not worth it, but still, it's a little bit of a silver lining. Gives people something to
Well,
look forward
just the
to.
fact that they're talking about it is a good thing.
Yeah, that's my whole mentality with it. The
Yeah.
fact that they're considering it is the smart thing,
Yeah. I
or a
mean,
good thing, not the smart thing. But
last month, they weren't even talking about opening up the schools or anything like that. They were like saying indefinitely, like whenever they first closed them. So this is, yeah, the fact that they're just talking about it is a good thing.
yeah, exactly. We can see it. We see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. So, all right. Any other good news?
That's it for me this time.
Okay. Sounds good, bud. I think that's it.
I think that's it too. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the little bell button so you get notified every time we have a new video out there. Don't forget to comment on all the good news you see out in the world. And last but not least, don't forget to go to brodownpro.com. We have new shit coming your way all the time that we want you to enjoy. So we will catch you guys next time.
See you guys later.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day.